When you want to complain because life takes a toll, take a bite of cheese and shove it in your pie hole. It's Gag Order Gaming.
Hello everybody. Hello. So this is Josh over from Mousepad. This is the first episode of Gag Order Gaming, our gaming segment. Today we're going to be going into Dishonored. Now, full disclosure, I had a little bit of a oopsie doopsie. I tried recording 4 different hour-long length episodes doing the missions of this game and commentating over them as I played. And turns out the PS5 settings, even though the microphone was all hooked up and everything, and it showed that there was audio going in, it, in the broadcast settings, said that the microphone was not allowing audio to go into the recording. So I went back and looked at them, and my voice is not there. And I'm clearly moving around, pointing to stuff, going, look at that, and it wasn't there. So I decided to take the first episode, even though it doesn't have any of my voice, and we're just going to watch it together, and I'm going to commentate on it, and then the next episodes of me playing this game, and from now on of any game, will be live while I'm actually playing. So there you are. So it's going to be a little weird. Going to be frank. It's going to be a little odd. I don't have control of the game at this point. Like, I did. So you're seeing my gameplay, but me talking right now, I have no control over what's happening. So I have always loved this game. I've always loved stealth games. I've always loved choice games. This is a very important world to me, and not in any weird sense, but I think it's a very cool concept of the open-endedness of power and choices and what you do with them, even when you are dishonored and you feel like you have nothing else to lose. There's always more to lose, such as your humanity or your moral standing, and how you treat others affects the world around you. So while playing this game, you can pretty much play however you want, right? The protagonist that you see at the top right corner right there, his name is Corvo Atano. We are going to be playing a new game in order for you to see the intro, because if you just hit missions, you jump past the intro, the tutorial, and you start in Coldridge Prison, which is known as Episode 1. And then after that, you start having powers that can affect you. But Mission 1, you don't have powers. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the tutorial section, the intro, and the prison. And then the next area, I will be doing a live recording. You know what I mean by live. So how I'll be playing, other than the tutorial itself, is how Corvo, I believe, based off some information from the novels, but also in my heart of how I feel like he would actually act. That being said, on top of that, I will also be playing to get the most juice out of this fruit, if you will, to get the most experience of the diverse gameplay options that you have, while also being mostly, if I'm being honest, not lethal if I can. So there's something called save sniping, where you save right before you do something, and if you fail, you just load that. That's very famous, especially in this game, because you can just be like, oh, I messed up, I gotta go back and retry it. I will try to not do that almost at all. When I did the recordings, I think it was at Mission 4, I did exactly that, just because I was jumping from, I believe, an 8-story building, trying to perform a magical spell perfectly. And so if I failed, I would have to go back a far way. So I'm like, I'm just gonna save real quick, and it's not gonna hurt anything. It's fine. But other than that, if I make a mistake, I want you to see my reaction of, oops, I got to adjust. Because what's beautiful about this game is that there's no, oh, you got caught, we now are forcing you to reload and you have to try it again. No, if you get caught, as long as you're not killed, you can keep playing, but the guards will be alerted to your presence, alarms will sound, and once the alarms sound, they're never going to be at full rest. They're always going to be like, well, there's someone that came in here. So, and you'll get to see that as we progress through the game. So, when am I going to hit new game? That is the question. Also, for reference, I have the deluxe edition, So I'll be having a few more bone charms, which give you bonuses. You find bone charms in the game to give you bonuses, and you find runes in the game in order to level up your powers or get new powers. So, but the deluxe edition will give you a bunch more. We'll say bonuses, such as an excess amount of gold at the start, so you can upgrade your equipment. Bone charms that you can't get even in the normal game, that are just in your bedroom. And I'll be using some of those, such as Void Walk, which allows your powers to be slightly more powerful, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for a vanilla version of this game, I will not be doing that. I'll be playing on normal, just to make things simplified. And yeah, here we go. It is quite beautiful. Some of this I will be not talking, just so that you can hear the audio. So yeah, you are essentially the top bodyguard.
Corvo, if only there was someone else I trusted to send, so that you could remain near. But there is no one else. And the Spy Master was right to insist that I send you. The plague has taken so many, and we must find a cure. When you are near, my heart is at peace. Emily and I will count the days until you return. Hurry home, and bring good news.
And for anyone asking, this is not a real place, obviously. There is references of culture of our real world, such as this.
Steady hand. That's it. Watch it. Cast off line. Casting off. We're away. Take us straight to Dunwall Tower. Lord Corvo has news for the Empress, and we've come a long way.
A long way to bring bad news. The sailors say there's a curse on us. Black magic.
Superstition. For all we know, there's a cure for the plague by now.
Maybe. We live in strange times. Sending the Empress's bodyguard away for a couple of months. That's unusual.
Well, this was important. We need help with the rat.
So as you see there's a whaling ship, like one that we just came off of, with a huge, looks like almost like a blue whale. And in this world, whale oil doesn't just light lanterns; it actually powers machines of electricity, almost a steampunk, but it's called whale punk. It's its own specific subgenre of the genre. But this area, this world, is almost in its own weird dark version of the Industrial Revolution, with a Victorian, I would say, flavor, and how everything is kind of almost felt, and everything is like kind of oil painting. There's a wide emphasis on music, on painting, on art. Like the top scientist is also the top artist. That's just a little bit of like flavor, almost Da Vinci-esque, of this world. Even though Da Vinci's Renaissance, not Victorian era, but you get it.
You know what to do next time?
Yes, yes. The pressure was too low. All these new machines are touchy.
Just don't do anything crazy.
And there's the palace. Or the tower.
Hello, sir.
Corvo, you're back! Will you tell me about your trip, please? Were there any whales? Wait! Let's play hide and seek first. I'll cover my eyes and you hide. You have time? Mother's busy talking to that nasty old spy
So here you
master.
could actually choose to play hide and seek with the princess, which would
All
give
right,
us
then.
the
Let's go
stealth
see Mother.
tutorial. There's not really a combat tutorial except for a ambush where you're kind of forced to use a gun and a sword, but you don't have to worry about losing your health.
Welcome home, Lord Protector. Stop moving, Campbell. And you, Corvo, welcome back. From wherever you've been. They sent him all around the Isles to beg for aid. A waste of time. My elixir will banish the plague from this city. Now keep still a moment, High Overseer Campbell.
I'm not so sure that painting looks like
So in the
Campbell.
second mission, you can actually go and find that painting and steal it back.
Well,
And every
were
time you
gone,
steal a
Mother
painting, you
seemed
get
very
300
sad.
gold. It's a nice little profit.
She missed you.
It's also an achievement to grab all the paintings. And Sokolov right here, he actually paints them all. And he's also the top scientist of the realm. And that is the head of the religious zealot military faction, which is the Abbey of the Everyman, but the military faction is called the Overseers, and he is called the High Overseer. Little lore for you, just to keep things in perspective. Next person we'll be seeing is the Royal Spy Master. Think of him as like the head of the NSA or CIA. And this is a monarchy society with a feudal kleptocracy. Not theocracy, as much as the
What
overseers
are you
would
doing?
like to make it
I
believe.
need the bottle to draw the eye away from Campbell. I suppose I can paint him without the cider. though in
So if you
truth,
see, there's
he's
actually a
always
bottle
close
of
to the stuff.
cider that I just picked up, and that was on the painting. But if I actually go and find that painting later, you'll see there is no bottle in the painting because he adjusts it and erases it. Everything about this game is meant to show you kind of the interactiveness of the world
see you
and
at once.
the characters you see.
They're sick people, not criminals.
We've gone beyond that question, Your Majesty.
They're my citizens, and we will save them from the plague if we can. All of them.
Very well.
We will not speak of this again.
Mother, Corvo is back.
Thank you, Emily. Leave us, please.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Corvo. 2 days early. Full of surprises, as usual.
Little hint that he was not expecting you to be here.
Follow me, Captain.
It's a fair wind that brings you home to me. What news
There's also
have you
been many
brought?
implications through rumors or how Emily treats you, which is the princess, that you and the Empress have a romantic but secret relationship.
I hope that one of the other cities had dealt with this before, knew of some cure. This news is very bad. We're at the breaking point. Cowards. They're going to blockade us. They'll wait to see if the plague turns the city into a graveyard.
Are you okay, Mother? You seem sad.
Yes, don't worry, darling. Mother is fine. Wait, where are the guards? Who sent them away?
Mother, look! What are they doing on the rooftop?
What? Emily, come here! Emily, get behind me! Look out! Another!
And yes, those are people. Magic is not well known in this world.
Corvo, thank you. If you hadn't been here... No more! Not again! Mommy! No! Get away from her! Corvo! Mommy! Corvo, it's all coming apart. Find Emily. Protect her. You're the only one. You'll know what to do. Won't you? Corvo.
Lord us all, look at what he's done.
Yes, he's killed the Empress. What did you do with young Lady Emily, traitor?
Her own bodyguard. Ironic.
I'll see you beheaded for this, Corvo. Peg him.
And there it is. There's your title drop. Sorry not to talk that much during this part. I just kind of want you to, anyone who's never seen this game before, to absorb this. And I love how the loading screen always gives you a little bit of extra intel. Such as it's been 6 months since that event.
This is your final chance, Corvo. Sign the confession, and let me give you the rights to put your spirit at ease.
I like how it shows the direction of where you get burned based off the damage marker. Another little section of the tutorial.
That's enough for now. Get out. Let's give the man some time to think. Corvo, the Empress is dead. Her daughter Emily is hidden away, and no one will ever know the truth.
Yes, unlucky you. Tomorrow you'll be executed, but it's for a good cause. This country needs strong leadership now, someone to guide the weak, and that's where we come in.
There was nothing personal with this, even though you almost sank our plans. But it turned out well. You were in the wrong place at the right time, and someone has to take the fall. Goodbye, Corvo.
So now Corvo knows who betrayed him and the Empress. And that should give you as a player motivation to be like, okay, this is messed up. And as you go through the city, you'll see a more totalitarian.
You should eat, Corvo. This meal comes
You'll see a
from
more
friend.
totalitarian world, almost, if you will, a 1939 totalitarian flavor on top of a British monarchy world. And that's what the flavor of Dishonored's ecosystem is. Now that you read that, they're pretty much leaving. A guard has been paid off by your friends, whoever they are, and they left a weapon and a key for you. The weapon is outside your cell. And I have disabled tutorials, so you're not going to see them now, okay? Like, if that very first area where there was fighting, there would have been a pause, and they would have showed you how to block, slash, counterattack, that kind of thing. Here, they're showing you how to pick up gold coins, pick up a weapon, look around, and then when I approach a doorway, which is on the other side of this corridor, because that's the actual objective, we need to get through, we need to get over there, actually, through those bars. In fact, you can see everywhere we're going to have to pass through from this one section will be, if I had magic powers, such as teleport, like you saw those assassins, I would be able to jump around here. In fact, in the DLC, you come actually here as the assassin that you saw kill the Empress, and you can teleport and jump around the pipes and get up to the second, third, and fourth levels. So a good reuse of the same environment.
So many people are coming to the execution tomorrow. It's on account of Corvo, the one who killed the Empress and abducted her.
I don't know what I'm doing here, but yeah, so here there would have been a tutorial saying, you know, this is how you actually go into stealth mode. Whenever you see your sword held horizontally and crossed, you're in stealth. And if you look to the bottom left of the screen right now, you'll see that my stance is crouched. When I go under a table, you'll see that my knees are bent all over my chest.
Right.
So that's kind of showing you
Social
how it
event for
works.
the high and mighty.
There's always two options when you take on somebody from behind. You can choke them out like I just did, which takes a second. But during that time, you can actually pull them back with you.
Attention. The solitary wing is off limits to make
Or you can quickly,
unless accompanied by an officer
let's
of the
say,
law.
end their life.
Escort through the
And
solitary
it's
wing must
very
be
fast
scheduled in
when you do
advance
that.
with 1 week's
But
notice.
you leave a tiny bit of blood, which can be looked. You can see now, you notice that his buddy's gone.
Any chance you'll share your food with me tonight?
I don't need shit.
But they're just kind of going along with it because there's no blood trail. There's no weapon laying down, right? So it is always stealthier. It's more of invest with non-lethal, you will get an easier stealth play. If you just rush it, more guards will show up later down the road. The city will be worse. There'll be more rats. We'll get to those later. There'll be more weepers. We'll also get to those, which are infected people that act almost like zombies, but they're not zombies. They're still alive. They just are so sick and feverish that they just grab whoever they can get and hurt them by accident.
Attention. Tomorrow's execution will be restricted to the personnel assigned to the event and approved dignitaries
I'm
only.
surprised this guy's not going. Where everyone else went. Come on, buddy. You can do it. There we go.
No, stupid goddamn.
I love the little details of the burn scars up on his face. As you're choking him, you can see details of each model. Because each guard is unique. They're not clones of each other. Like, yes, they look similar because it's just easier to render those character models, but the game treats each guard like their own individual person. They don't respawn. There's only so many people. There's only so many guards. There's only so many civilians. Other games would just constantly respawn guards and kind of make them a nameless entity, but that's not the case here. This game and also the second game.
With 1 week's notice.
See, I'm playing it a little slow. You can rush through this and just go ham. But the moment you stand up, you're easily seen. Your footsteps have a little bit of thud, and then if you sprint, you definitely make noise, and they can definitely tell you're coming. Because if you just walk right now, even standing up, the guard's not really going to notice. He's going to be more so thinking there's a guard behind him. Why would he think there's a prisoner behind him? The game is smart that way. If you start sprinting, he's going to look at, why is someone running? There's no reason for someone to run right now unless something's wrong. We're in a prison. So he would actually turn around and actually look at who's there. So if you sprint, there needs to be a reason for it. You can't just rush through this. I have no idea what I'm staring at.
Attention. Tomorrow's
Yeah, see
execution
that?
will be restricted to the personnel assigned.
I would start sprinting and I start making noise by stepping on metal grates. Ah, the audiograph. Almost like I'm having a moment here.
Corvo's unconscious again. Though he's taken more punishment than the 2 men we brought in for interrogation. When he wakes, we'll start again. Having him sign the confession for her murder isn't critical, but it might be useful to us later. The assassination of an empress is not a trivial matter.
So yeah, they kind of act like record players, except instead of a round disc, that's a solid rectangle with little divots of different depth. Same concept, but you don't really see it working very well unless it's playing music. You'll see the object go, the data rectangle go in and out of the machine, almost like it would be using a record player concept, but if it's just a voice, it just kind of slots in like a cassette. What am I staring at? There must have been something going on when I was recording this. So the people on the letter, my quote friends, left an explosive device for me to find. In order to get more lore about the world, you want to just pick up different books and letters. You also can obviously grab bottles, glasses, inanimate objects, and you can throw them, either hit somebody in the head and potentially knock them out, or you can make a noise for them to be distracted and look towards the broken glass.
Ackworth, you lazy slug. Did you patrol the yard? Sorry, not yet. I was gonna report that boiler.
So this is where you can actually lean by holding the Y button on Xbox or the triangle button on PlayStation, and just move to the right to the left. On Dishonored 2, you can actually kind of lean up and peek around the top of an object, but in this game you can't. You can only do it left and right. You always want to pay attention to where guards are facing.
Seen any more big rat swarms? Corvo's execution is tomorrow, right?
You can notice there's different layers of shadow on me, of darkness, and that matters a lot, but only at a distance. It doesn't matter how dark you are. If you're right in front of somebody, even standing under a cabinet, they're gonna be like, there's someone there. But if you're really far away and you're covered in shadow, you're kind of you're a shadowed object in a shadowed background far away. They're not really gonna notice you, unless you move really quick. Then they're definitely gonna notice you. So I could have cut into that operations center and opened the door myself, but there's no way to do that stealthily. And the door has a slight opening alarm, not a sounding alarm system. And then there are guards also in this area. So here I could drop down on that guard and instantly kill him and use his body to break my fall. Not accurate, but we've always seen stealth games do that as a way to speed up locomotion when it comes to stealth combat, of dropping on somebody in order to kind of make that move faster, whether it's through their body weight that does the damage or the weapon itself. Now in Dishonored 2 you can do that non-lethally, but only in Dishonored 1 you're kind of stuck with a lot of lethal options and not many non-lethal options. I'm trying to keep it with as few bodies as possible, because I don't think Corvo would want to just murder people just because he can. If he can do this without killing anyone, he knows these guards. He used to be head of the guard, well not head of the guard, but the head of the Secret Service. And so he would work with guards. So he knows guards are not bad people. They're rough around the edges, and some might be corrupt. But he knows that as a whole, it's not like it's an evil empire and all the minions are bad. It's not a black and white concept. It's very gray. Now, the first time I played this, I just placed the explosive that stood right in front of it, not really thinking, and then it killed me. And that little lightning bolt at the top left is your health. You got to yeah, and if that was concrete below me, I would have perished. That is how you get out of the prison. And now, if I had gone across the bridge, I would be back in the tower, aka the palace. But we are escaping. And like I said, this has a mix of between Victorian and yet a high level of like industrial revolution technological infrastructure build, with also the concept aesthetically wise of the city is very old and it's built on top of itself many times. So you'll find old ruins in the sewers or below in what's called an undercity. You get the idea. But on top of that, the main city itself has giant iron barricades that separate different districts because there's now quarantine. And as everyone knows of COVID-19, quarantine is no joke. And there is a plague that is spreading, but it's spreading like the bubonic plague or the black plague. Black plague, I said that wrong. And it's spread by rats. But these rats are different. These rats, if there's a swarm of them, they're not from this island. They're from somewhere else, and if there's a swarm of them, they will attack people and eat them alive or eat dead bodies. It's a weird but cool concept that added another layer of danger and stealth manipulation to this world. Because say you're being stealthy and all of a sudden a swarm starts chasing you, you can't really be stealthy anymore. You kind of have to move. You kind of have to get away with them. Now, they don't jump. So you can just climb on something that's like 2 feet, 3 feet tall, and you're safe. I mean, they're going to keep standing right under you and making noise, but you're not in danger anymore. You can also jump in the water, because unlike real rats, these things can't swim. Just because that would be terrifying in this game if swarms of rats that eat people alive could swim also. All right, what am I waiting for here? Come on. Come on, Josh. You can do it. But yeah, if you have any questions about this game, I would love you guys to talk in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe. We're going to have different projects that we do, talking about different lore of different worlds. Here we go. But yeah, this is Gag Order Gaming. And so in Gag Order, we're going to just be playing games and talking over it. Whether it's joking about it, or talking about the games, or talking about other random stuff. It's just us having fun. And look, there's one of the rats now. Now, by themselves, they do nothing. They are harmless little rodents. Almost cute.
Use some kind of explosive to blast his way out.
And there's the swarm. Now listen to the music. If you can.
Bottle Street gang, maybe.
The violin starts getting a little more irritated. A little, to raise that level of anxiety.
You're
to
afraid
the
of him?
player character.
He's zirconian.
I like how some of them are kind of
Merchants and
glitching in and
wars
out.
Kids like you.
Ah, my friend again. Alright, now that you've read that,
I saw him fight 3-1 in the practice.
this game gives a little example of, it's a good game of show, don't tell.
I hope it is too.
So, 2 guards. They can stomp on the rats, but then the rats will do their thing. It's quite grim. It's also kind of dark humor of how these rats kind of just make a body disappear. And there you go. So now that you've seen what the rats can do, there's another swarm. And once they're done with that body, they're going to want to come back to you. This game has a beautiful way of doing not just show, don't tell, but also environmental storytelling. You can clearly see that there's stuff that's maintenance crews have come down here before, but have stopped. There's recluse. There's a couple that died of the plague that just held each other. And you can probably find their note around here. Yep, there it is. Yeah, it's romantic and sad at the same time. Always look around, always explore. You never know what you're going to find. Now we get to mechanics. There's wheels, levers, whale oil tanks, or anything that you can play around with in this world. Along with boards. If I could have taken that board that we just stepped on as a ramp and knocked it over.
Aren't we supposed to load the bodies in the carts headed to the flooded district?
Yeah, but screw that. That's too far. I don't want to catch the plague, do you?
No. Doesn't the elixir prevent it?
Maybe. Either way, let's just dump them down there.
So they mentioned the flooded district. That's going to be the third to last mission, and it's a big mission. It's the first district of the city that got quarantined off. It's also where the assassins make their nest. So we have to clear the way and lure these rats away from us as we move that wheel. Like you've seen, it takes a while to move that wheel to turn it on its axis. So we lure the rats away with a trail of breadcrumbs. Now listen closely.
Attention, Dunwall citizens. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair Empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Any evidence as to his whereabouts must be delivered to the city.
So if I had taken out guards, they would have said, some brave officers of the watch have already lost their lives to him. So that would have showed consequences of your actions already. But you don't see the consequences of you being lethal until the next mission. It's not that it does it all in one, like the same environment that you're in. You have to wait until you actually transfer to the next assignment. And then that world will be adjusted based off your, quote, chaos rating. The amount of damage that you've done to life, property, stuff like that. So that there was a little trap, little cross bolt that would have been triggered by a tripwire if I had just walked in. Like I said, always look around. I'm not gonna lie, I love this sword so much, but it is also, if you understand physics, it's amazing as an assassination tool. It's terrible as a combat weapon because, well, let's just say you can only do so much with folding metal. It's cool. It's got style. Like, watch. There's your crossbow. Okay. Pistol crossbow. Yeah, it's almost like a switchblade. But that means also the blade itself is hollow, meaning that if it clashes with a regular sword, it might dent them very badly. And then you wouldn't be able to fold it in. So it's just a fun little game, fictional mechanic. So yeah, you get to choose sleep darts. You can switch back to your pistol. That trap I disabled has a incendiary crossbow bolt. Here's another tripwire. I can't just crawl under it. I have a slide under. There's little bonus objectives, and this is kind of the first one that you ever get. There's a safe, and if you read the note, it'll say, remember, check the bottles. So someone left a safe combination. There's different ways to get safe combinations. Sometimes you have to rescue somebody. Sometimes you have to go into an officer's barracks far away from the actual safe, sneak in. Sometimes you even have to pay somebody off. There's different saves that have different valuables inside of different degrees, whether it be gold bars, upgrade ruins, or just ammunition and schematics. You never know what you're going to get.
You won't get past me, sir. Do you know who we're hunting here? Don't try to take him out alone.
But what if no one from the squad is around?
Then try to make a lot of noise when you die. Knock something over if you can.
Bastard. Smells like a dead weeper in here.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Night night. There's many ways to do this section. You can literally dive into the water of this moat and just stick to the bottom, and hopefully they don't see you and just swim all the way there and almost lose your breath. I'm going to do it the hard way just for fun.
Stay alert, you worms.
But also
Not
give you a
getting
little
out this
more
way on my watch.
idea of, like, yes, the prison was kind of your first area of sneaking around, but this is the first area you get to sneak around and have a ranged weapon, and you can actually use that as your superiority, because the crossbow is silent. Until the bolt hits something, then it's obviously going to make a noise, but you shooting it, they're not going to know where that came from. No one ever looks up. Another word to the wise, because you can actually crawl into the grates below, and if they go down to smoke or something like that, they might look down and see you. Like, it's actually, yeah, see, he's looking in the water. Like, they can look at you and find you. So I sleep darted him, just because I wanted to move fast. You always run faster with your weapons holstered.
Over here. I'm Samuel, and I work for some good people who want very much to meet you. They said you'd come out here. I can still hardly believe it. I'll take you to meet them. Just down the river from here.
And after every mission, you get a score. You get a scorecard. So look, you can see how many people I killed. That includes hostiles, civilians, if the alarms were rang, if anyone found bodies. You also get a check mark if you don't kill anyone, and a check mark if you are never detected. You can do those separately. Like, you can get caught and never kill anybody. You can also not kill anybody. You know what I mean. I'm having a brain fart today. Oh, Lord. But also it shows you the items that were in the mission. There were no runes, shrines, paintings, but there was gold there. And of course the special actions, which is your bonus objectives of opening a safe. There are many bonus objectives in the actual missions. This is the actual tutorial beginning mission. Alright, what am I doing here? Come on. But yeah, you can also kill, like, you can get powers where if you eliminate somebody, they turn into ash and their bodies disappear, including not leaving blood. So you can actually be lethal, but still not be caught, and that's still ghost. So there's advantages and disadvantages to each one, but if you can do both, the game almost treats it like you were dust on the wind. Like, no one knew you were there. Everyone, the other levels that you progress to are infinitely easier because security is way down. They're just looking for gang members and weepers, you know, those sick people and rats. So they kind of already have that in the bag, to be honest, other than some quarantine being broken. I'm just talking their basic security. They're not expecting you because you are terrifying, to be honest. Like, I'm making this look easy. I get that. But trust me, if you pick up this game and you play through it one time, you can go backwards and do it just as easy. I chose to do it on normal difficulty because I didn't want guards to hear my footsteps like 15 feet away and immediately know where I was. I didn't want them to hit me once and instantly die. I wanted to have a more of a cinematic experience.
This is the Hound Pits pub, closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's
That's the
nose,
tower.
and
That's
he
the prison
don't
in the
know
tower
a
right
thing.
there. So across the river. So actually, you can see everywhere we'll be going.
Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the watch will break in with swords
That
drawn.
clock tower is where the
And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart.
Stockbridge district is where the wealthy mansions are.
Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily.
So this is like the one area that is 100% safe. It is your neutral zone. It is your base of operations. It's where you buy equipment, buy ammo, talk to your allies. You can also use this place kind of like a jungle gym in order to test the little limits of your movement, stuff like that. And that will start opening up as like the next time you show up here after a mission. It'll mostly all be open to you. But
Welcome to the Hound Pit Pub, sir. How may I help?
Hello, sir. I am Wallace, and this is Cecilia. We have been informed of your arrival and will do our best to stay out of your way while you conduct your business.
Yes. Lydia's a servant here as well.
welcome to the Hound Pits pub. This section has been sealed off. If you actually look at the windows and bars, reporting sickness, hiding in the plague. But yeah, giant metal barricades separating streets. Like, they are not joking when they say there's quarantine. So the city was already at a bad place 6 months ago. Now it's even worse. So if you can't tell, this is a very nautical society with a British flavor to it.
Curfew
Can't tell.
extends from
Quail eggs,
sundown
dark
to
bread.
sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest.
So, if you look at the bottom there, that's ADM as an Admiral Fairleigh Havelock. He is the head of the Resistance, the military faction. You're also going to see Trevor. Was it Trevor? Yeah, I think it's Lord Trevor Pendleton. He is going to be your representative of the nobility of Parliament.
So it's starting at last, Admiral. We've found
So,
our man. Even
you can look at through keyholes so people can't see.
Slipped out
looking.
like it was nothing.
Yes. Not surprising. He was the personal bodyguard of the Empress. You've heard the stories.
Yes, I have. It still amazes me that someone could get to the Empress and young Lady Emily.
No one knows. We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry. You must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes. Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need.
That was a very quick inhale.
And then get some sleep. We can talk more when you
So yeah, that's your introduction to the first two big players. You'll see more players later of the what do you call it, a resistance, an insurgents. Yeah, this whole area is open to you. That's the wine cellar in there. That is the stairwell, that door I just saw, and here is the workshop.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear, all custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes,
I like how he's worried about the mess, but just offhandedly goes, "Oh yeah, the tank will explode." Like it's a full grenade. You can just fill up a whale oil tank and toss it like one of those glass bottles. All right, that right there is a reference to the Arcane's. Arcane is the company that made the game. Arcane originally made Portal, so that was a little reference to their first game. Maybe not first, but the one that made them famous. Still have yet to play Portal. I know. It's so popular, but I messed up. I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, you can always check this place. See it, you know. It's kind of funny you're taking his stuff and then selling it back to him. It's a simple game concept. So yeah, let me show you this. So you'll see disperser tanks of empty whale oil tanks. There's only so many tanks, so you don't get supply, just like there's only so many guards, so many civilians, same concept. Let me throw this to show you the explosion.
How did that happen?
So yeah, you grab an empty tank, fill her up. Weird that there's no sound. It'll automatically slide in.
Plug it in.
And then I want his mask. Both for wall decoration and for cosplay.
Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face. But this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Send the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables, and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
So here we go. This is the store. You either purchase ammo and equipment, or you actually can have him do upgrades. So you can upgrade your crossbow, you can actually make your gun into a semi-automatic, do a little cowboy flip of the wrist and it reloads. You can make your sword pretty much always win a cross guard competition where you're pushing against another guard in a strength contest. You can make your mask have zoom in features, so if you combine your mask being able to zoom in twice and your crossbow's range, you essentially make a sniper rifle. So these levels have varying ways that you can accomplish your mission. And both your magic and your equipment allow you to do different things in different ways.
You get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon.
Now,
You should rest.
Unfortunately, I did not record you getting magic. That's going to be somehow, I'm going to have to plug that in, but most likely not. We'll talk about that when I do a recording of the first mission. I'll just go over it. But yeah, that's Dishonored, and you pretty much, after this, you go directly to sleep, you wake up, the supernatural deity gives you abilities, but pretty much says do with what you want. He's not good or bad, he's just kind of, I like to see what happens, and how you use them is up to you. So I can't wait to play this, guys, and I can't wait for you to see the next one. Come back to us at Gag Order Gaming. This has been Mousepad. I'm Josh. Thank you, and can't wait to see you again.
A Mousepad production. Please like and subscribe. Our links are in the description of this content. Thank you.